Just moving on with the assembly. And there's my blower manifold all bolted down. I reassembled my distributor and put it in. I don't have it nowhere near set right or timed or anything. But just putting the motor together. Nice thing is put on the blower. Well, there's Mr. Blower in, bolted down. Solid. I used some 3/8 bolts here in this blower right here. It should be 7/16. But these are just down where they're just holding a few threads. I maybe got like 20 pounds of torque on them. Any more than that and they'll strip out. And the reason for that, if I got this thing backwards and it backfires, I want it to rip the bolts out of the manifold, not, blow my whole blower all to pieces. I'm going to set the pop-off valve here as about as low a pressure as I can get. But once I got it started, timed and running alright, then I'll put good heavy bolts in to bolt the blower down. It's good enough to run. Well, we'll press on and put a few more things on it. Tie rods here, and just striped them on the outside rather than trying to paint the whole thing. And that looks pretty good. I'll use my little flame patterns and put some kind of flames or something right there on the edge where it ties in. Maybe up here in front. Yeah, this one looks pretty good. So it's starting to all tie together. Oh, I did another little detail here. I still got paint in my gun. So I shot my little pop-off plate. And then wiped off the top of the aluminum there so the aluminum sticks out. I think it looked pretty good. And it looked like it contrasted pretty good with my little Edelbrock breather that I did a detail on here, and that plate there looks pretty good. Starting to tie the motor together good. Just little details. I don't know how it's gonna look. Might look real stupid at the end, but I think it'll look fine. That looks nicer than it did just plain aluminum. Well, I'm finally excited about the project. I got worried about all these little details, but it looks pretty good here this morning. I dreamed all night long about maybe painting the top of the blower frost here orange, faded in with some flame pattern. Maybe doing something here. This looks good with the grade 8 bolts in the middle, and I'm going to paint these outsides one orange. That might look pretty good with the flames in. I'm going to, at the very least, I'll paint it silver, so I'm going to practice with the orange a little today and see if I can do it. And then I was going to paint the top of the windshield orange and use the small flame patterns to flame it in to a black. And then in the bottom I can keep this all black. That middle piece right above the dash will be purple. I just sanded my little water spots I had out here. I still got a little bit of one right in this area. Yesterday I just sanded them real quick and squirted them with the paint. The paint's still kind of tacky. The drums are over here. I put them in the sun to dry, but you can see on this one where I put a lot of paint down in this gap, it ran out a little bit there, which is that's too bad. But here's a little trick you might not know. I'll give it a try. you want to take out a run, you just take your finger and lick it so it's wet, and then you just use pressure on it, very light pressure, to press the run down. The color will be different, but this is kind of dry right now. It'll take a fingerprint if I was to pick it up, but it's dust free. But now I'm going to take a tack rag and do the same thing. So anyway, I rubbed that out a bit. Looks pretty good. This one looks good. The drum is just flawless in here where the guy sandblasted. I wish I would have had him done the whole thing, but I didn't. I could probably go over this and take some of these big rust spots out. That's probably a good idea. Yeah, I'll just resand this drum here and clean up these rough spots. I'll just use this as a base coat. I want to make those drums look flawless and just get rid of all that rust stuff on them. It's just a little bit more work. This fender turned out nice. I had a little place right here in the bottom where I'd missed, and it's out in the sun good and hard and dry now. And inside is that killer black, and the outside's very nice purple.